Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect.
Wagwan people, Lumanny here, back here with another episode of the Aston Villa save here on my channel. We are moving into December in this one, and you can see there we have a game against Newcastle on Christmas Day, which Christmas Day is literally just yesterday for me in real life. Yeah, I know, it's taken me a while to get this one out, but I've been doing a lot of recording so that I've got the footage to record. Leave me alone, stop bullying me. But first off anyway, we will start things off with a game against Burnley away from home. I believe this time, yeah, away from home for us against Burnley. A game that we should be winning. We are on a very good run at the moment. I believe last month we won all of our games, so we're in good form. We are playing against one of our own loan players here, which obviously in real life isn't actually possible. But Bogard playing against us in this one, which was interesting because I wanted to see how he was performing in Burnley. Obviously Burnley themselves are having a bit of a tough time overall. We did decide to rotate quite a lot because we've got a lot of games in December, so we will use most of the rotational lads. A couple of the mainstay lads like Bissek, I think we had, I can't remember, Doughty in there. So yeah, we had a couple of guys. Early on though, in the 12th minute, we would chip a ball through to Jaden Philogene, and he would be able to volley past the goalkeeper at the near post. Nice little move from us, to be fair. Doughty with a nice chip over the top does find Philogene. Philogene, I wasn't actually sure he was going to be able to finish it from there. I was kind of debating trying to go to the far post, but I thought that was probably giving the keeper a better chance. We hammer it as hard as we can at the near post, and it does fly in to make it 1-0 to Aston Villa over Burnley. Burnley was a very strange one. They were actually giving me a lot more problems than I anticipated. Trezor here does break through. Fortunately for us, he completely spoons the shot. Then in the second half, Anduni would spin away from our centre-backs, run into the box, and Kaminsky, our rotational goalkeeper, wouldn't be able to close the angle fast enough. Danso not managing to get close enough, and Doughty or Bissek weren't covering. So Anduni would actually make it 1-1 in the second half, which is not something I was expecting. A tough game against Burnley wasn't on the cards for me out of the games that we did have this month. We had like Arsenal and stuff, but Burnley definitely were giving us a very tough game to start this episode off. But Rio Hatate would manage to find space, get played through, and would finish very well into the back of the net to give us back our lead over Burnley. And when I say that we did need it, that is 100% a truthful statement. Burnley, I was worried that we were going to slip in this game and drop points, because they were playing a lot better than I was expecting them to. But getting our goal cushion back was obviously very nice for us. After that, we would kind of take a bit more control. We chip through John Duran here. He goes for a shot. It's a very good save by Trafford to keep it out. Again, we managed to get John Duran through, this time for a volley, but he does put that one wide. You can see everyone was expecting that to end up in the back of the net, but not to be this time. And then we would have a late attack. We would play through Jackson Price here. He would run through on goal. Thought about squaring it to John Duran, but Jackson Price, who has become somewhat of the breakout star of this season, definitely our best youth prospect, to date, he would tuck away our third goal of the game, and that seemed to have wrapped up 3 points for us against Burnley. Like I said, it's a game that we should be winning. They definitely gave me a tougher game than I ever expected them to. But Jackson Price off the bench finishes well, puts it into that far corner, 3-1 up, looking to see this one out. But Burnley would actually manage to get themselves another goal to make it 3-2. Only a couple minutes after we got our third goal of the game. So that again upped the pressure a little bit on us. Like I said, unexpectedly, Burnley were game. They came to play for sure, and they were giving us a tough time in this game. Trezor, another player who's we struggled to deal with through most of the game, to be honest. Chipping the ball across for a header at the back post. But unfortunately for Burnley, very fortunately for us, we would manage to see things out for the last couple of minutes of the game, and we would walk away 3-2 winners in this one. 3 points for us again. Look, it doesn't always have to be clean. We're fighting for a title, so it only matters if we get those points. It doesn't matter how we get them, in my opinion. We don't have to always have the best game where we dominate possession, blah, blah, blah. We had the better of the chances, we scored more goals, and we outscored our opposition. That's all that matters. That gives us an 8-point lead at the top of the table. We are currently now the only undefeated team in the league still. So we are definitely rolling, and we will roll straight off of that 3-2 win into what is going to be a very big test for us, as we would be playing Arsenal at home in this one. This was a game that I felt like would be a big marker for how we would continue the rest of the season. Obviously, Arsenal are one of the teams challenging us at the top of the table right now, so scoring points over teams like this is definitely a vital thing for us to keep going forward. But yeah, we had our strongest lineup available. I did decide to put Maatsen in this one instead of Doughty, just because Doughty he misses that bit of pace that I think sometimes teams look to exploit. He's a great playmaker, and he's actually a pretty solid defender one-on-one, but running back potential is a little bit stifled with him, and with Martinelli and Saka, the wingers that we're playing against, I just didn't want to give us that chance to be exploited for pace if that happened. So Ian Maatsen would come in for this one. Besides from everything else would be the same. Arsenal would have an early chance, but a big hand by Emi Martinez against his former side would keep us level. We would then chip through Ansu Fati, who was under pressure from Eder Militao, but somehow managed to reverse the ball, strike the ball back across net and finish it off. I think it caught David Raya a little bit unawares as well, because he couldn't really react to it to get his feet and get across to save it. You see, he's going away from goal here. Militao pressures in there, but he just sweeps it back across. Oh, it's not Militao, sorry, it's Gabriel that pressures. And he just sweeps it back across the other side of the goal. And we do take a 1-0 lead up against Arsenal. Like I said, these are vital games for us. We need to be getting as many points from these kind of games as we can if we are going to try and win the Premier League title. 8 minutes in, getting a 1-0 lead. That's exactly how you want to start things. Arsenal would then take a little bit of control of the game. It's kind of back and forth this one, but down the wings, Arsenal were looking to try and get through. Martinelli would shape through here, get a strike away from outside the box, but Emi Martinez would be there to save. We would then take a bit more of a passive possession, I would say. We were knocking it around, trying to move Arsenal around a bit, trying to stop them from being so settled in. Ansu Fati would roll the ball through to Ollie Watkins. He managed to avoid 2 challenges and slam one into the top corner just before half-time to make it 2-0 Aston Villa. And I really couldn't have asked for the first half to be going any better for us, to be honest. Good little move here. You can see they tried to both get a tackle in, but in the end, neither of them end up putting in a solid tackle because he's in the box, Chouameni and Gabriel. No, Saliba, sorry. And Ollie Watkins does manage to bang it in top corner. He is our talisman right now. Without Ollie Watkins, we definitely wouldn't be in the position that we're in. Early on in the second half, Arsenal would definitely pile the pressure on very quickly, making it very clear that they wanted to get back on level terms here. A great save from Emi Martinez from a Kai Havertz volley would keep things 2-0 as they were. Boubacar Kamara would get pressed by Havertz though. Not great bit defending from Bissek there, and then Pau Torres can't get a block away. And Gabriel Martinelli would get Arsenal back in the game in the 49th. With a good finish into the bottom corner, to be fair. I was slightly frustrated because I felt like Pau Torres should have maybe been able to make a block there. You can see it just goes around his leg. Emi Martinez can't get across to it in time. That does make it 2-1. As you can probably tell then from there, we did decide to sit in a little bit more. Arsenal were having a lot more possession and we were ceding possession to them. Havertz would have a strike again, but Martinez would save. It was then pretty end-to-end, I would say, and no one was really taking advantage of the other. Arsenal would get a late free kick there, as you saw, that wouldn't come to anything. We would then pressure them down the pitch, and that would be it. We would walk away 2-1 winners over Arsenal at home. Absolutely huge 3 points for our prospects of challenging for the Premier League title come the end of the season. These, like I said, these are the games that we need to be winning. It doesn't matter if we go away and only get a point, but at home, if we're planning to challenge for a Premier League title, we have to be beating the sides around us at home. Arsenal currently in 3rd place. We could not have asked for more there, really, than to walk away with all 3 points at home. You can see it's a pretty even game. Arsenal had better possession, as you could probably imagine that they would have. That does open an 8-point gap now to Liverpool, so we're definitely in charge of our own fates right now. Still the only undefeated team in the league, so it's a pretty huge start to the season. 15 games in, no defeats. That is pretty massive. Like, you really can't ask the boys to do more than to go 15 games undefeated. We would then go into the Europa League with a game against Dinamo Zagreb. We kind of needed to regain a bit of form in the Europa League, because I believe it was either the last episode or the episode before we failed to win both of our Europa League games, which had seen us slip down the table to 5th. And the teams around us had been picking up points as well, so they are definitely keeping us away from that top spot right now, which is what we'd like to regain, because we have the goal difference. We just don't have the points because of our 2 draws to Union Berlin and Besiktas. So it would be nice for us if we can bounce back with a win in this one. We are at home, so I was feeling slightly more confident of our prospects. Took a little while to break down Zagreb. Doughty here picks up the ball on the edge of the box and goes for a shot. It was looping over the keeper, but a good strong hand from the keeper. Pushed it over the bar. First half was all us, really. Xavi Simons here would cut inside very nicely. Nice little move to get away from the second defender, and he would curl one, but it would come off the underside of the bar, unfortunately not going across the line. So things would stay 0-0 going into half-time. The other side of half-time, good hold-up play from Xavi Simons. Wagnerman would try and put the ball across to Ollie Watkins, but it would be deflected. Bit of luck for us here from a poor clearance from the Zagreb man. Wagnerman would pick it up and would manage to slot home to give us the 1-0 lead in the second half. Zagreb were difficult to break down, man, and anytime we did break them down, their goalkeeper was game. He was just there to make a save. He was getting hands on every shot that I was having. We did have quite a lot of shots in this game, but I thought it was kind of pointless just putting a compilation of shots that were being saved in. So I didn't show you all of them. I'll show you some of the closer ones. But yeah, we would take the 1-0 lead. We would completely control the game pretty much. Zagreb didn't really threaten us. A good chip over the top here would find Xavi Simons from Ansu Fati, and Xavi Simons would volley home to make it 2-0 in the 55th. So a nice 1-2 not long after each other. That was basically where we were finding our luck, is if we could get runners in behind, then Zagreb weren't really managing to recover, and that is where we were finding our joy. Good little finish there for us. As you can see, it's the same thing again. Jackson Price gets the ball from Mbuemo this time. Unfortunately, the young man can't add to his goal scoring tally, which is pretty impressive so far this season, to be fair. And that would be it. A pretty straightforward game. I wouldn't say it was too tough. It was tougher to break them down than it was overall a tough game. But we would walk away 2-0 winners, which is 3 points in the Europa League, which, like I said, we're trying to refine some form in the Europa League right now, having slipped a little bit. We put a lot more focus on the Premier League side of things, so maybe I was a little bit naive and let things slip. See, Zagreb had a lot of possession towards the end of the game because we kind of just ceded it to them because we didn't really need to have the ball to make things happen. But we are in 5th still in the Europa League, so we are guaranteed. I'm almost certain that we're going to make it into the playoffs. I don't think that's going to be a problem for us whatsoever. But obviously we would like to skip the playoff round altogether and make it into the latter stages of the competition around the 16. So picking up as many points from the last couple of games we have in the Europa League is the aim. Then back into the Premier League. Like I said, there is a lot of games in December for us in this episode. So there was basically games every couple of days. I think we have one break that's maybe like 5 days, and then the rest is just relentless games. But we were going away to Everton at this one. Looking at Everton's team, I could kind of see why they were struggling. There's a couple of names in there like Gagliardini. Good player on his day, but probably a bit of a... I don't want to say past it, but probably past it for Premier League standard. We would come in with our strongest lineup, because like I said, and Jackson Price, sorry, I forgot I was playing Jackson Price. Like I said, I want to get as many points in the Premier League as I can right now, because we are on super good form. I don't want to throw it away by thinking that a game is guaranteed. Everton would actually start more promisingly than us. Beto kept getting in behind my centre-backs. We do get a good foot in here. Martinez would pick up the ball to stop anything going on there. Koku would then pick it up, put it out to Leon Bailey. He would find Ollie Watkins, who would then roll it through to Jackson Price, the young man. And talk about his goal-scoring record so far this season. He would add another one to his goal-scoring tally. This time in the Premier League. Jackson Price is definitely the breakout star of this window from the Youth Academy. Definitely the best youth prospect that we have right now. And I'm definitely going to look to get him in and around the team more. Very good finish from him as well. Confident finish for a young lad. 1-0 away to Everton is exactly how we want to start again. A nice early goal for us. We would then press forward here. Leon Bailey would win it in the box. Now, I've got to be honest, I think he should be finishing that there. Unfortunately, he only manages to put it into the side netting, so it does stay 1-0. But we were just streaming forward against Everton in this one. We roll through Ollie Watkins, and you know when Ollie Watkins is in that position, there's absolutely no chance that he is going to miss. Ollie Watkins, Mr. Reliable, I haven't said it yet this episode, so I'm going to say it now, would get our second goal of the game. It's a very simple Ollie Watkins goal. We rolled it past. We knew that the centre-backs for Everton aren't the paciest, so I don't think they were going to be able to recover. That's really what I was looking for. And that would kind of be it. The rest of the game would be pretty quiet overall. It would be mostly us attacking, Everton managing to stop us from putting any more in. I can honestly say that we weren't forcing too many attacks after going 2-0 up, just because obviously we were pretty much seeing things out from here. I was looking for Koku here, obviously, because he'd hit a very good free kick for us earlier this season, but I had subbed him off at this point for Berenchea. So I went for it with Leon Bailey. Hit the wall, deflects off ahead, and that would be the end of the game. In this one, another 3 points in the league. Our league form is absolutely insane right now. We are... There's a good chance that we could talk about going invincible. Very much further down the line, though. It's still probably way too early to be talking about going invincible just yet. But we are definitely making a good statement that we want to win the Premier League. I think at very least now I would confidently say that we should be finishing top 4. But I think that there's a good chance we should be able to challenge for the rest of the season for the Premier League. Because as you can see, we now have a 10-point gap over Liverpool in second. So we are in the strongest position. Ollie Watkins and Bissek would find themselves into Team of the Week. I was then going to try and re-sign Thomas Kaminski, who I think I will re-sign should the option become available, but at the moment they don't want to go into negotiations because he's only just signed a contract. But that is what it is. I think I will re-sign him because he's been decent when we've played him, and it saves us having to spend more money on another rotational goalkeeper, to be honest. But next up, we would have Brighton visit Villa Park. Another chance for us to keep extending, or at least keep our lead at the top of the table intact. So again, playing the strongest lineup I possibly can. Ian Maatsen coming in again, but to kind of deal with some of the pace of the wingers that I thought Brighton would probably have. I didn't actually know their lineup going into this one, but I knew Kadioglu would be in there. Hinslewood, I don't know who Malizu is. Ike Noria I know has decent pace, and I also know obviously João Pedro has got decent pace as well. So that's why Maatsen was in. Anytime we face fast wingers, Maatsen is probably going to sub in for us. Brighton would have an early corner. We would knock it back with Ian Matson, and somehow João Pedro would finish off probably one of the best volleys I've seen this year. His body was completely going away from the ball. Somehow he managed to twist himself around and mid-air volley it into the back of the net. So a very impressive finish from João Pedro there. Would see Brighton take a early lead. You see, he just spins. It's going behind him. He spins on it and finishes into the back of the net, which, like I say, very impressive. Brighton were definitely having the better of the chances here. Another shot got laid back here to João Pedro, but that one would be deflected round. We were a bit slow to start here, but we would play a ball to Ansu Fati. He would then find Watkins. The keeper here, I don't know what happened, but he made a big mistake. Watkins managed to get on to the end of him and then managed to knock it past him and slide it home. I thought Watkins was going to overrun it for a second there, and I was literally just about to start screaming at him, but he does manage to hook back round and put it into the back of the net. So we do find ourselves 1-1, but it is a bit fortunate, I do have to say, because it was just a full-blown error from the keeper. He got the ball back from the defender, who was trying, I think, to hope that he was just going to smash it clear, but he ended up kind of stumbling on it a little bit. We would then go through in the second half with Ollie Watkins. He would hit the inside of the post. It would bounce back out, and it would then deflect off of the defender past the goalkeeper and go into the back of the net. Yes, two very lucky goals for us, you have to say, but we're going to ride our luck if we need to at any point to try and find ourselves closer to winning the Premier League title as quickly as we can. Didn't put music on for that one because I thought it was a little bit sus. We would then have a very good move here. Watkins chipping through Leon Bailey, a nice bit of dribbling from him to find himself a bit of space, and that bit of space would convert into us scoring a goal, as Leon Bailey would manage to walk through, slam it into the side netting of the other side of the goal, and we would find ourselves 3-1 up. Sorry, I almost said 1-0. 3-1 up over Brighton, and it's exactly what I want. Like, I can't ask for more from the boys right now. They are doing exactly what we need. They're being ruthless in front of goal. They are pushing the pace of the game. We haven't had a slow game. Like I say, I know that it only takes 1 or 2 injuries to our team for things to completely capitulate for us and for us to find ourselves in a much tougher position. But while we've got these 11 players that are playing, well, probably even more than 11, probably 12, 13, 14 players that are playing to the standard of football that I'm asking of them and doing everything that I need from them. We've got Mr. Reliable in front of goal. We need to drive home our advantage as much as we can. 12 points now over Liverpool after they slip up a bit in their game. I think they drew, so we take a 12-point lead. It's looking more and more likely with every game that goes past that we are the favourites to win the Premier League right now. I know there's been talk before of, like, I think it's the team that's leading the Premier League at Christmas tend to go on to win it more than not. And here we are. We are at the Christmas game away at St James's Park. Unfortunately, the boys don't get to spend Christmas with their families because they have to travel up to Newcastle, but I'm sure they won't mind if it means a Premier League title towards the end of the season. It's a pretty strong team from Newcastle. I was surprised to see Miguel Almiron playing on the right wing still, but besides from that, they have strengthened in other places. Andres Santos in midfield and other players like that. I did decide to go for Alfie Doughty in this one still because I thought his playmaking may help us a little bit more against Newcastle, maybe whipping a couple of long balls in and stuff, balls over the top, etc. But yeah, besides from that, it's exactly the team that you would expect. Early on here, we would manage to find a nice little move. Ansu Fati would shape, find Alfie Doughty. He would then play it back to Ansu Fati. He would lay it across, and Xavi Simons was very nicely in the middle. It's exactly what I want from Xavi Simons. It's the kind of areas I've been asking him to get into more this season. He wasn't doing it early season. Obviously, you guys know my frustrations with him early season, not getting into those goal scoring opportunities, but that is perfect for me. He's there. we had Mbuemo at the back post, and then Watkins just a little bit further back, so we had options aplenty in the box, and we would pretty much just run over Newcastle in the early goings of this one. A good finesse shot there from Ollie Watkins trying to curl onto the far post. It was a save from Chevalier, but he would manage to only to palm it to Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati would then have an open net to slot into. He's stepping up a lot more now with his goals after he'd been a bit quiet at the beginning of this season. So it's nice to see him getting a couple goals to his name. Newcastle really didn't threaten us with anything in the first half. We were kind of just finding ourselves in these positions quite a lot where we were trying to move them around, find the space. Vagdeman would pick it up here. Find Ollie Watkins just coming in from the edge of the box. And Ollie Watkins in the box with space always is the same equation, and it always equals goal. There's another one for Ollie Watkins. That would put us 3-0 up in the second half. Newcastle just weren't really managing to get close to us. You can see from the POV there is two players in front of Ollie Watkins and neither of them stick a leg out to try and make a block. I don't really know why, but yeah, it was a very strange game. It just didn't really feel like Newcastle were in it. We would then try and get out after a little bit of a Newcastle spell of pressure here. Callum Wilson would dance through me. It was great dribbling from Callum Wilson. Ends up forcing a good save out of Emi Martinez, but he would manage to keep a clean sheet in this one with that save, and we would walk away with another 3 points. Like, I cannot express to you how much of a surprise to me it is that we are dominating teams the way that we are right now. It kind of feels like everything is just clicking right, and we're all just in such good flow and such good form at the moment that it's just all kind of working out perfectly. But yeah, I'm not going to complain about it. You can see it's a complete domination of Newcastle. Maybe they were thinking about getting home for Christmas or something because they were not even close to us. So that win would maintain our 12-point gap. We would then move on to a bit of a youth scout report. We've got a lot of very good potential youth players, but none of them are quite hitting that level. You know, I kind of like them to be 65 range, 64, 65 range to find their way into the first team, and we just kind of don't have a lot of those right now. So I'm finding myself more often than not, having to drop decent potential youth players because we're getting better potential youth players come through. Got another one here, Alvaro Crespo, 73 to 93 potential, 62 rated currently. But like, as I scroll through here, you can see there's a lot of high potential players, but none of them are getting to the point where I can actually put them into the team and be confident they can perform. Pau Torres then does get a offer here from Atletico Madrid. I was very tempted to take it because he's getting older. We do have Danso who can cover for him, but I actually really like the partnership that him and Bissek have struck up at the moment. I think they complement each other well and they're working well together. So I decided, no, we're going to reject that. We're going to hold on to Pau Torres until at least the end of the season. And then we'll see next summer what options are out there. If we bring someone to play with Bissek and let Torres go, whether Bissek, there's a lot of potential, but that's for the future. That's not for now. We did have a couple bits of rotation in this game. Matty Cash coming in, Jackson Price and Rio Hatate all coming in to the first lineup. Like I said, we are playing a lot of games right now, so we are having to rotate the team a fair bit in these games. Brentford are a tricky one. They always either show up massively and give you a horrible game. That front three of Rosger, David and Lewis Potter, they really they can either completely torment you or you never see them in the game whatsoever. Lewis Potter in this game was actually giving me a bit of trouble. A nice switch here early on though would find Price, he'd find Doughty. Doughty would then low cross it to the back post. I don't know what low it means. And find Rio Hatate, who was having a bit of a spell in this game, to be honest. Not this game, this episode. Yeah, I'm all over the place, leave me alone. Having a bit of a decent spell in this episode, finding himself in a good position. It's a very good cutback to the penalty spot to just see if anybody is there, and it does manage to find Rio Hatate. He is contributing, and that's what I've been asking of our subs. I think is what we lacked last season. We just didn't have players contributing off the bench. Another goal will come from Matty Cash, who is a very unlikely source of goals, but we would get one with him here. That would make it 2-0 early on at home against Brentford. So we're rolling. It's exactly what we need to do. We need to just score as many goals as we can. We're getting better defensively, but I feel like on FIFA there's always that chance that a massive defensive mistake will just happen, irregardless of what you do. But yeah, we controlled completely the first half. Jackson Price would then get in the second half, roll it across to Ray Hatate, and Hatate would finish off another one to get a brace. I don't know if he's had a brace before for us. But Ray Hatate, he was out of the team when Xavi Simons came in. I was kind of trying to use Morgan Rogers in there a bit more, and it seems like he's decided that he's sick and tired of being left out, and he wants to be the man to be subbed on should we need to make a sub at that cam spot. And at the moment, with the way he's performing, I don't see why he shouldn't be. Brentford would go through here. A shot from Jonathan David would get saved. I think it was then Onyeka would take the second one, but it would be unfortunately deflected off of the save from Emi Martinez. It would go straight across to Keane Lewis Potter, who was stood by himself. He would tuck into an open net to make it 3-1. Like I said, we are 3-1 up, so it's not too dramatic. Leon Bailey would go through late here, off of the pass from Zakari, I think it is, but it would get saved. Zakari would then have a late opportunity, but that would be saved as well. But that would see us getting another 3 points on the board, remaining undefeated in the Premier League. It is a huge challenge for us right now to keep getting as many points as we can in the Premier League and putting this beyond all doubt, because we are in the best position we could ask to be in right now, with the other teams around us not performing. But that's going to be the end of this one. Please like, subscribe, turn the notification bell to get notified by the next episode. I hope to see you in it. Peace.